Welcome to AI World TV, your go-to destination for everything artificial intelligence. Discover the captivating landscape of AI, where advanced technology finds real-life application. Subscribe to AI World TV for webzine articles, reports, podcasts, videos, live events, and latest trends. Hear from top industry leaders and discover how AI is transforming industries and our daily lives.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Okay, big news today. We are diving straight into a really significant announcement that just came out, July 23rd, 2025. President Donald J. Trump has unveiled his AI action plan.
That's right. Big news indeed.
And our goal here really is to unpack this strategy. It's being called, a power play. Pretty bold stuff. The idea is it's going to redefine American innovation, really push the U.S. ahead in the global AI race. They're even talking about sparking a second tech boom. So, okay, let's get into it. President Trump's plan. It lays out some, incredibly ambitious goals, a whole new direction for AI in the U.S. What are we looking at here? What are the key pieces of this strategy?
Well, what's really striking, I think, is that this isn't just, tweaking a policy here or there. No, it's described as an aggressive plan specifically designed to strip away federal AI regulations.
Strip them away entirely.
That seems to be the goal, yeah. The stated aim is to kickstart an AI renaissance. It's all about speed, competitiveness. That's the priority. The administration seems to be framing it as almost a national security imperative.
And when you say stripping away regulations, the source material is pretty clear. This is a big move. It mentions a full rollback of the Biden-era AI safety rules. So like you said, giving AI developers, a completely free hand. And then there's fast-track permits for data infrastructure, plus over $100 billion in federal export support for U.S. AI top. What does that free hand really mean in practice for how AI gets built and used here compared to before?
It's a pretty significant departure. It suggests moving away from the very idea of, strong federal oversight being the main control. President Trump himself was very direct. He said, we're not going to let bureaucrats or foreign rivals hold us back. America will lead the world in AI, and we'll do it fast.
Wow.
That quote really sums up the whole approach, doesn't it? It's about rapid development, letting market forces lead, which is a definite contrast to the previous focus on, responsible AI, safety standards, that kind of thing.
Right.
The signal is clearly build fast, iterate fast, and sort of let the market figure out the problems.
Okay, so central to this is the idea of a second AI boom. How is this described? How is this wave meant to be different from, say, the first AI explosion we saw?
Yeah, that's a key part. And what's fascinating is how different it's positioned. The first boom, that was a lot about software startups, generative art tools, things like that.
Yeah, the more visible stuff, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. This second AI boom, though, is described as being driven by infrastructure. It's enterprise-focused, and it's very strategically global. It's more about building the foundations, the plumbing, almost.
So actual physical stuff powering it all. Can you give us some numbers? Like, what does this look like on the ground?
Absolutely, and the numbers are already starting to show it. Get this. Venture capital in AI, it apparently shot past $200 billion this quarter.
$200 billion.
Yeah. And a lot of that money is going into those foundational areas. Chip design, synthetic data platforms, autonomous systems, and you see it physically too. Over 40 new AI data centers are planned. Big builds across places like Texas, Ohio, the Midwest.
40.
The source calls it a digital manufacturing revival. And then globally, U.S. tech exports, especially AI for defense, cybersecurity, industrial automation, they've jumped 18% just since Q1.
Miriam Goldstein from Liberty Capital AI had a quote, didn't she? Something like that.
Yeah, she said, this is not just a tech trend. It's a new industrial revolution.
That really frames it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It highlights how AI is becoming like the core infrastructure for productivity, energy, even international relations.
Yeah.
A really profound shift. But you can guess what's coming next. With this kind of massive, rapid expansion, there's a huge challenge that often gets, overlooked. Energy. The sheer amount of power needed for this AI revolution. How big are we talking here?
Oh, it's staggering. Really staggering. Just to give you a sense of scale, a single large hyperscale AI data center, it can use as much electricity as about 100,000 homes.
One data center, like a small city's worth of power.
Pretty much, yeah. So every time a major one comes online, it's like adding a new town to the grid. And the projections, they're concerning. By 2026, so just a couple of years away, data centers could make up over 10% of total U.S. electricity demand.
10%. What was it before?
It was about 4% back in 2022, so a huge jump.
Okay.
And in those areas, getting the new centers, West Texas, the Midwest, they're expecting something like a 10-fold increase in energy draw. Just massive.
That's incredible. So if you're building 40 new centers in the Midwest alone, are we literally creating demand equivalent to multiple new cities? What does that do to the grid? And how does this plan actually propose to meet that demand so quickly? Because that's the goal, right? Speed.
You've hit the nail on the head. That's the core dilemma. To make the data center deployment happen faster, Trump's executive orders are designed to slash through regulatory delays. And this is where it gets really controversial.
How so?
Well, the plan includes exemptions from major environmental laws. We're talking the Clean Water Act and the National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA.
Exemptions.
Yeah. The goal seems to be bypassing the lengthy environmental reviews those laws require, which effectively opens the door really wide for fossil fuel power. So think natural gas plants, potentially modular nuclear reactors, maybe even coal, powering these new data centers.
Right. Things previously constrained by climate rules.
Exactly. And President Trump addressed this directly, too. He said, we're not going to wait 5 years for approvals while China builds tomorrow's AI on coal and nuclear. America will build faster and will use every available resource to do it.
So the message is clear. Speed and competition trump environmental review.
That's the implication. It's presented as a direct trade-off. Lose the safeguards to gain speed and beat competitors like China.
And predictably, this has triggered a swift environmental backlash. Climate groups are sounding the alarm. What's their main worry?
Their central concern is the potential climate impact. Liz Zhang from the Clean Data Coalition put it pretty starkly. She said, the energy required to train one frontier AI model already emits more co-euro than 100 transatlantic flights. Removing environmental safeguards now, she argued, could supercharge pollution right when we need the opposite. They're genuinely worried about an emissions bomb.
So, pulling all this together, how does this new framework fundamentally change the government's whole approach to AI? It feels like more than just a policy tweak.
So it's absolutely more than a tweak. This framework signals a really radical pivot in how the U.S. government sees its relationship with AI. It's a fundamental shift from being, a cautious regulator trying to put guardrails in place,
right,
to becoming an unapologetic accelerator, full speed ahead.
Yeah.
The priorities are now clearly speed, building infrastructure, and national competitiveness, especially, as Trump's quote indicated, competition with China.
And institutionally. Any changes there?
Yes, significant ones. The existing AI Safety Institute, it's being replaced. There's a new Center for AI Standards and Innovation. And its mandate seems to favor things like open source platforms, decentralized AI, and letting the market set the standards rather than relying on federal guidelines.
Interesting. So less top-down control.
Much less. It reflects a core belief that the market, not government, will drive the best outcomes fastest.
There's that quote from Dr. Ravi Mehta, the Stanford researcher.
Oh, yes, the Cold War for Code quote.
Right. He said, "This is a Cold War for code. We've entered a new age where AI is no longer just a tool, it's geopolitical infrastructure." What does that analogy really tell us?
I think that analogy perfectly captures the current mindset at the highest levels. It frames AI development as this
You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Tense, high-stakes competition, primarily with China. It suggests AI isn't just about technology anymore. It's fundamental to national power, to security, to global influence.
Like the space race or nuclear arms, but for algorithms.
Exactly. It implies a kind of zero-sum game where leadership in AI is absolutely critical for maintaining geopolitical standing. It's about securing that strategic edge.
Which brings us to the inevitable question, the trade-offs for society. If we look at this whole strategy, who are the likely winners? Who stands to gain the most from this approach?
Well, if you connect the dots from the source material, the potential winners are pretty clear. First, you've got innovators and investors. They're likely looking at fewer regulatory hurdles, maybe new federal incentive, easier sailing, potentially.
Okay. Makes sense.
Then U.S. tech companies and the developers themselves. That rollback of Biden-era safety rules aims to give them, as we said, a free hand. Plus, the new Standards Center favoring open source and market-driven approaches gives them more control.
Right. And the exporters.
Big potential winners there. That $100 billion plus in federal export support, that's huge. And we already saw tech exports jump 18%. That trend could accelerate.
And geographically.
Those regions getting the data centers, West Texas, Ohio, the Midwest, they're expecting that digital manufacturing revival. Lots of investment, even with the energy draw concern.
So jobs and investment in those areas.
Potentially, yes. And don't forget the energy sector itself, specifically fossil fuels. Natural gas, maybe modular nuclear, even coal on them. The executive orders explicitly allow their use, moving past some climate regulations, so they could see a boost.
And overarching all of this, the idea is the U.S. itself wins in terms of global competitiveness.
That's definitely the narrative. Prioritizing speed, infrastructure, competition. It signals the U.S. is done playing defense in the AI race, as the source puts it. It's a very assertive posture.
Okay, so that's one side. Accelerated growth, maybe a stronger competitive position, but there's always another side. Who are the potential losers, or maybe who faces the biggest risks from this strategy, especially given the speed they're aiming for?
Right, the risks are significant. First off, environmentalists and climate groups are, as the source says, alarmed. Those exemptions from the Clean Water Act and NEPA, combined with the energy demand, they see a real risk of an emissions bomb.
So the environment is a major potential loser.
Absolutely. And then there's society more broadly. You face these big trade-offs. Environmental impact is one, but also potential labor displacement from faster automation. And, with fewer safety rules and less focus on federal guidelines, there are risks around ethics, bias, and maybe data privacy erosion. Well, the Biden-era safety rules themselves are obviously being rolled back. That whole approach emphasizing caution is being discarded. Federal guidelines for AI standards, they're taking a backseat to market forces, which, might lead to inconsistencies or maybe lower safety bars in some areas.
The Dow grid.
Yes, the grid itself is under immense pressure. The source even mentions record U.S. grid costs and calls for new power plants. That 10% demand figure by 2026 is a huge strain.
So definitely not a plan without significant potential downsides and costs.
Not at all. This aggressive push comes with some very real, potentially unaddressed risks baked in.
So wrapping this up, this announcement, it feels like much more than just a standard policy update. It feels like the starting gun for a whole new era of American AI, one where speed and dominance are the absolute top priorities.
I think that's exactly right. It signals a very clear shift in philosophy. And, the source concludes by saying something quite apt. Whether this really bold strategy actually secures that long-term leadership the U.S. wants, or if it ends up exposing the country to deeper risks, economic, environmental, geopolitical, well, that's going to depend entirely on how the U.S. manages to balance power, progress, and responsibility going forward. It's a real high-wire act.
A high-wire act indeed. So as we leave you today, maybe think about this accelerated race for AI dominance with all these specific trade-offs we've discussed. How might that reshape things for you personally? Not just the big tech landscape, but maybe your daily life, the environment, your job, your data, potentially very soon. Definitely something to keep an eye on as this new AI age charges ahead.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.